Welcome to the Consciousness of the Way podcast number 3. And my name is Taoist Master San Quinn, and my co-host here is High Priestess Jade. Top of the morning to you.
Good morning.
What an amazing day. What an amazing awakening time to really take in all the gifts that are given to us.
It is. It's a fresh, beautiful summer day, and I'm grateful. Definitely grateful for everything that is being offered.
Again, capturing that moment, that essence of just being, and then, evoking the chemistry that comes with gratitude.
Yeah, I think it's, you always are grateful when that thing is taken away. It's like, I don't wake up in the morning every morning and go, oh, I'm so grateful I can breathe. But it's like when you feel sick or you have a stuffy nose and you're like, wow, I enjoy just breathing. I forget what it feels like when you don't have it. So really embracing all that and being grateful, even though you don't realize it until you don't have it.
Absolutely. Understanding that, these types of things are sort of inherently the basis of, most people's understanding of reality, which is when they're in lack of, all of a sudden they're in need of. And so when you're in lack of that missing component that you have become complacent with, then there's that need or desire for being grateful. It just sort of like as a default. That's for most people, unless you're, wired in a different way that would put you in a position that is rare to most. But generally speaking, gratitude is sort of the default of most human beings when they're in lack of. And of course, that's only a brief moment. That's why most people are unable to find complete, levels of contentment and being, completely absorbed in the present moment.
Right. And I think that kind of gets to what we're talking about today, is really grounding yourself and creating that coherence and that practice. And we were going to go into meditation, what that's like for us, what that means.
Well, meditation is just such a, it's the entry point for anybody. And I get a lot of people that say, Sifu, how do I find enlightenment? Sifu, how do I start? It's a question that, since we've been on this platform, probably something that is most requested is, where do I start? How do I start? Meditation. And understanding meditation is the gateway to your consciousness. It's the ground level. Put it this way. If you were to use the analogy of, entering a building, it's level 0. It's the basement, but it's also a starting point that everyone needs, a starting point for their own development, their own skill.
Yeah, I think it's important to start from somewhere. Again, you learn to crawl, then you learn to walk, then you learn to run. Mm-hmm. And it's like creating that foundation that's necessary so that all the other concepts and applications just fall on top of it and round you out perfectly it's necessary.
Yeah. So, let's be very clear, guys. Meditation is also powerful. It's poo-hooed by many. It's at a certain point within this space of alternative healing, consciousness, spiritual awareness. Most people have a general understanding of what meditation is, yet it's your ability, because in definition, meditation means to be familiar, to be aware of your moment. And so, people have this Hollywood definition of what meditation is, which is the disappointing moment where you have to sort of go, well, I've seen the movie. I saw David Carradine in, I think it's Kung Fu or something similar to that TV show, or Bruce Lee, or the Last Airbender, or some type of like martial art type based movie where they speak on this state that you get in, this meditative state. And even to this day, 30 years later, helping people using this tool as an entry level for their own consciousness, I still always find that most people have little to no understanding about meditation, and it's sort of intriguing to a lot. Recently, the last couple of days, I've been getting a lot of DMs, messages, wanting to know more about meditation and understanding how to meditate. So let's look at this from a base level, because this is your base entry level to your consciousness. And so, first and foremost, meditation is to be aware, to be familiar. Conscious in of itself, in definition, means to be aware. So, when we're talking about meditation, fundamentally, and by the way, today I'm going to share with you an ancient Taoist practice to access your consciousness instantly that will start you on the journey of your own awareness through meditation, that you can use the second I hand this out. You can apply this information and you can become completely familiar with and aware of yourself. And this is not some sort of painful situation where you need to be spending hours, months, years acquiring this skill. You will obtain it instantaneously, because I'm that kind of guy. I'm a put up or shut up type of guy. It applies on a personality level and on a divine level, because that's really how you evoke change, how you evoke healing, how you evoke manifestation is action. That's really how you get it, right? So when it comes to this type of stuff, the physicality, which is so very common for most people, and understanding, hey, look, I can show you and measure my strength. I can measure my endurance. I can measure my muscularity, which are, 3 feats that are far more common today. When it comes to show me, look, I got a 6-pack. I can run a 4-minute mile in 2 minutes. I can lift a house. These are all measurable, right? Right. And so, that's very attractive to a certain type of personality, and it's sort of like gravitate to an alpha type of personality that has this mechanism of sort of default of, high levels of discipline. But, understanding that, and because a lot of people in, social media today will gravitate to someone like that for level of motivation. I see that, right? I see that level of motivation. The question is do you understand the amount of deficiencies that this particular person has to acquire that level of discipline, determination, continuity, really, because you have to be doing the same thing over and over again, having that set as a default. And that's the problem. We want to balance everything out. And it's a problem in the sense of putting it in the words of, guess what? You have a problem because this is your area of excellence and people gravitate to it. People are looking for it. Social media is really a platform of motivation, right? So they're looking for these people that can give them the answer. So they push them for another set. They push them for another a mile. They push them for another workout. They push them for another level of discipline that they would not be able to acquire within themselves. Newsflash. Everyone has that. And of course, that's why you're turning here. That's why we have people turning to our channel, to us on a daily basis, because they want to learn how to master themselves. And it's not for the few, it's for the all. It's for everybody.
Yeah, I think so many people, especially social media, it's very physically based. Everything is either aesthetic or, but it's not a lot of mental preparation or mental help or mental health in that sense, which is the key word right now, where everyone, like you said, they want the 6-pack, they want to squat 500 pounds, they want to run the 3-minute mile now. But it's like, and they put so much energy, so much effort, so much attention to their physical appearance, their physical being healthy, eating the right things. What are they doing for their mind? What are they doing to exercise their mind, flex their mind, enhance their mind, balance their mind?
Well, that's a good point, because Jade makes a very good point. The point is, when you're gravitating to that, that's the missing component. That's the excess and deficiency that I'm just about to speak on. So it's very powerful. You look to someone else for discipline, for direction, for control, for leadership. And, Jade talks about, well, what are they doing for their mind? Well, these people that are, disciplined and focused and able to implement have crafted a skill through their own perception, through their own senses, that have developed this component, this part of them, making them able to perform things that the average person would not. And that's why you look to people for guidance. You look to people for this area of excellence that you're deficient in. And so the mindset, as you would put it, is a starting point. But if you were to look closely at these individuals, there's many deficiencies that they can work on themselves so that they can balance the fluidity. And so most people, just inherently from their mental emotional state, having that level of discipline, have had to detach themselves from a lot of their emotional content. And that's when you fall short on your ability to manifest. And so that's where you have you have a situation where people will, they will come to me and say, hey, Sifu, I'm able to manifest all this money. I'm able to manifest all this good fortune. I'm able to manifest this, that, something else. Yet my heart is so sad. My heart is so empty. I feel very lost and alone in this space of manifestation or accomplishment to the outside world, right? So, Jade is talking about the physical appearance, and that we look to these leaders, these movers and shakers that are admired throughout all these platforms, which are inspirational. I think everyone is inspirational. Everyone has something to offer. They bring it to the table. That's why it's so magical, the platform of social media, because you have the ability to share with the world what it is that you have crafted, what it is that you have created, what it is that you are able to decode, decipher, and then transmute to the rest of the world. That magical ability to hand over this gem, right? So we have this whole struggle with the excess and deficiency.
Right.
And so, okay, now we get to the magical gateway. Meditation, the ground level entry point. And it's just about, what is it? Meditation is about being familiar, being aware. In definition, that is what it is, beginning and end.
I think it's hard to change. It's easy for the observer. It's easy for us or your friends or whoever to look at you and go, wow, do you see your behavior or the way you're acting or what's going on with you? Mm-hmm. You're a different person. But internally that person's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm me, I do what I do. And I think being aware is so important because you can't change if you don't know what you're changing or that you need to change or that you even have something you want to work on or develop. And so meditation is a great point to be aware and be like, wow, everyone tells me I'm a really angry person. I'm not an angry person. I don't feel angry. And then all of a sudden, you start kind of going into this and being aware and go, oh, maybe I do have a short temper.
Well, this is a good point. It's quite simple. When you're communicative and you actually have a dialogue with another person and you're receiving and transmitting information, the question is, are you equal to or greater than the event? So this is what it comes down to. We can break down the brass tacks, but the mechanics are very simple when it comes to change. Change is very, very simple. It's as simple as, are you equal to or greater than the event? So you want to shift something, you want to change something, you want to manifest something, you want to create something, materialize it right here, right now. You must be equal to or greater than in energy, frequency, and vibration. Whew! Right. And this is really the exciting component of meditation is, well, I've seen the movies, the Kung Fu master says, you must be still, you must be silent. And newsflash, everyone is meditating all day, every day. Mm-hmm. What? Sifu, excuse me? What? Yeah. Mic drop. Everyone is meditating all day, every day. So we start talking about trance. Everyone's in a trance. Everyone is at some level of a hypnosis that people are not aware of. And that's just an interesting word. It's a dirty word to a lot of people, but in generality, the identifying factor is you are in a state, you've shifted into that state unconsciously, and you're there all day, every day. If you have a cell phone, right here, right now, if you have an electronic tablet, right here, right now, if you have a laptop, right here, right now, if you've ever watched a TV, you are in a trance right now. So you have already developed a skill on how to be aware, to be familiar. Whoa. You mean it's that simple? Yeah, it is. So you have this ability that you're already trained in, that you have not even taken a moment to realize that, because no one's ever structured it in a way to deliver it to you to realize that this is the power that you have as an individual. People would argue back and forth as to whether you're present within the quantum or you're not. And this is where the coherence and that model is so relevant, even though, thousands of years ago when Taoists are creating these sort of techniques to heighten your level of consciousness, awareness, and your ability to manifest and create, coherence was not the word on the menu, yet it's something that is quite familiar that I can use as a science-based reference to how I help you get to this state, so then you can change your state at will.
Right. And I think, like you said, just being aware, once you're aware of the state you're in, or realizing, hey, I don't want to feel anxious right now. I don't want to feel nervous or overwhelmed. It's like you can change it that quickly. It can change that quickly.
Right. So, Jade talks about how it changes that quickly, and it is really that quick. So, today I'm going to share with you an ancient Taoist entry point of a way that you can enter your unconscious and hook up and get right to the brass tacks of your awareness, and giving yourself the ability through your senses to shift that state, and booyah, you are there. You're in the magic. You're in the present. You're in the manifestation. And it's that simple. And so before we finish this podcast today, I will share with you the technique of how to do that. It's a very ancient Taoist practice. It's a very simple practice, but it's very effective at cueing your senses, which we've talked about before. Just in case, we'll do another rehash for anyone that hasn't seen previous podcasts or have never seen any of the material that we have created. We help you understand what's going on and how to create, shift, and change your state through your five senses. Your five senses are what you were born into this world with. These are the gateways to your perception and how you mold and craft your reality, how you perceive everything. And through your life experiences, you create these excess or deficiencies that give you your worldview, that give you the barometer and understanding about how you see things. So that means that you can be in the same room with the same person looking at the same event and come out of that room with a completely different definition or understanding of what took place, because your senses are calibrated differently to the other person.
Like the classic game Telephone, where it's like you start off saying a sentence and then they say it to the next person, all the way around the circle. And by the time they get to the end, it's a completely different sentence because they heard, you mentioned seeing, but like hearing as well. You said, oh, good morning. And I heard, I don't want to talk to you today. I was like, wait, what? Right.
And that filter system of your own making that you have created through your life experiences is determining your perception, your outcome, your reality. Whether it's a good or bad day, you are the master keeper creator of that, and it comes from your five senses, and you are molding and shaping it every day, every minute, every second, every hour. It's on you. And so this is where we're at. We're at meditation, baby. Meditation, the basic understanding of it is to be aware, to be familiar. That's what meditation and definition is. So instead of like perhaps maybe you walk past a meditation class or a guided meditation or a yogi doing meditation during yoga, or maybe you thought of the idea of meditating and you went to the internet and said, no thank you, there's like 50,000 different ways and it's confusing me and everyone's telling me I have to be still. There's no such thing. My mind is working at 1,000 miles an hour and I can't sit still to save my life. And that's not true. That's just your perception of your reality right now. And I'll say this, craft it, listen, let it echo in your mind. The truth is what you believe and only what you believe. And it's at that point. The truth is your truth right here, right now. And it is determined by you. And guess what? The second we give you another perspective, you now have a different alternative of your perspective, which changes your truth. Bingo. Right? So meditation does not have to be defined by you sitting still by you having to be quiet, by you stilling your mind. No. Let's break down the brass tacks. All you need is a thought, an emotion, and a feeling, which is what is evoked and encapsulates every second of every minute of every hour of your life. And you are going to be able to shift gears, right? And that's why what we've created as the Way 126 experience is so powerful for any individual. As long as you're a human being, as long as you have a nervous system, as long as you have 5 senses, which pretty much that includes the whole world, you will be affected by the material. You will master your skill that will be able to give you the ability to change your state in 126 seconds like that. And that comes from Gateway, 5 senses. And we're using the visual and audible to evoke a kinesthetic response. That's the end all. When you want consciousness, when you want manifestation, when you feel it, it becomes real.
Right. It's like my son was asking the other day, he was saying, Mom, I'm scared. I don't want to fly in an airplane. I'm scared of heights. And I said, you haven't flew in an airplane. How do you know what that feels like or how that feels? And he's like, I watched someone on TV and, it was shaky and they were scared. And it's like that. Yeah. But he saw it and he might've heard it, but he's actually never felt it. So even if I describe to him, hey, this is what it feels like. It's relaxing. It's calm. It's, you don't have to be afraid. It's like, until you feel it, it's real within you and it solidifies. That's your understanding.
And it's either limited by or expanded by your perception, your experience, your life experience, your reality right here, right now. And the truth is the truth to you and only you. And that's the most important. So all we are doing is giving you the ability to refine your perception so that you can craft and create and manifest your reality any way you want it. And that's where I use these ancient tools. We use these ancient tools, these Taoist tools that are so effective and have been for thousands of years, handed down from generation to generation, making it possible for anybody with zero prerequisite to sit down, hit play, be affected by the visual and audible experience, creating a kinesthetic response, which is the slam dunk that gives you what you need to make it real. And that's the component that Jade's talking about, which is feeling it. And so, your grandmother's old expression, don't ever creep up on somebody, you could scare them to death, is really funny in of itself, but in reality, it's extremely powerful because you're creating a thought, an emotion, and a feeling that encapsulates in that event at that moment. So what happens is you encapsulate the thought, the feeling, and the emotion by creeping up on someone, scaring them, boo! And whatever or however their nervous system has been primed or not is going to be determined by how they react or they perceive their reality, right? So you have to be aware that your nervous system is the information energy highway of this, okay? And so imagine this. You have your brain, your heart, and your gut. These are the 3 energy centers that Taoists we call dantians, and they have 81 chambers in each dantian, which are chambers of energy and information that are oscillating and rotating in a clockwise fashion throughout the course of your day. This is part of your energetic body, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just giving you a little crash course on Taoist energetics, and we're going to go deeper into it, podcast to podcast, release videos. I'm going to be going into a whole heap of fundamental traditional ancient stuff that you can learn immediately through me sharing the techniques, the methods, the understanding of these systems and rituals. So we're now back to understanding meditation as the gateway. And being familiar, being aware is so critical. And just like, Jade mentioned about, our son talking about being afraid of heights and flights and everything else, this is how you encapsulate a trauma that is stuck in the person's experience. So it has a thought, an emotion, and a feeling. Even though he's simulated or seen it on television and never flown in a plane, and that goes right back to what we're talking about. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an actual an event or the actual experience. So you can create it in your mind, or you can actually experience it. It will evoke the same chemistry within you, which is a really magical part, because you can transform yourself very quickly and shift and change that without the limitation of, I have to experience it only one way. And that's really powerful.
Yeah, and I think, like you mentioned before, I think on the podcast before, or even before that human beings inherently are wired for fight or flight, for survival. We're analytical, introspective, too smart for our own good. So I think naturally, the easiest path is normally the negative one. This isn't going to go right for me. This is going to happen. What if this happens? The fear of all of these things. And really, as quickly as you think all those things, you just change it. You can change it to the positive. This will go right for me. I will, meet this person, find this opportunity, create this life that I want. And it's really that simple.
Yeah, no. Amen to that. It is really that simple. So let's look at gateway and meditation. Sifu, I need to understand meditation. I need to know how to start somewhere. Well, this is the gateway, the entry point to what we use to give you the skills that you master, and then you acquire a skill that you have for the rest of your life. The funny thing about meditating, levels of consciousness that you acquire through a practice, through a system, its development is instantaneous. You're running on that nervous system. So parallel to exercise, the old expression, if you don't use it, you lose it. This is in some ways an exception to the rule, because you're acquiring these skills, priming your nervous system, okay? And then you're acting with your brain, creating new synapses in your brain, developing new information energy highways. And by bringing your attention to that and putting your attention to that and practicing that through the audible visual experience, you're able to acquire this skill, and the kinesthetic response evokes this change within you. And then you're able to use your intention to shift your state. Shift from angry to happy, like that. That's how powerful you are. That's how easy it is. So using the meditative baseline, entry level, I'm going to say, no, you don't have to sit there for 50 hours in lotus position, thinking about nothing, to create awareness. That's a fallacy. That's something that's trumped up from Hollywood meditation movies, perhaps. Maybe people have this, fabricated Hollywood version of how you acquire awareness. And again, that's, defined by the individual.
Right. That's someone's perspective. And like
And
we always get back to, your truth is the only truth,
Right.
is the most important truth.
right,
And what works for me might work differently for you, might work differently for you.
right,
And but again, your truth is what matters, the
Right.
only thing that matters.
right. And so that whole thing of pain and suffering is a perception. So your pain and suffering is determined by your perception. And it's only pain and suffering because you have worded it that way. So just as quickly as you can change your story, and again, 80-90% of the stories in your mind from the sum of your life experiences are fabricated, distorted, embellished in every way, shape, or form. It's just part of human condition. So guess what? You are 5 seconds away from being a superhuman and being the most powerful meditator on the face of the earth, just by the state that you say you're in. You can immediately proclaim that this is what's taking place for you right now in your reality. And it's just as powerful as an event that has taken place 10, 20, 30 years ago that has sort of morphed into this sort of superhuman experience that, is one thought away from your reality. And so the thing that makes it real, because the biggest misconception is you sit there, you read one of these famous books about manifesting that, millions of people have read, and they're like, oh my goodness, I got it. The universe will provide. Absolutely. Whatever you say it is the truth. The question is, has it become your reality? And I'm a put up or shut up kind of guy. It's like, get in, show me, and then I believe, because that's the register. The kinesthetic experience registers for you that it is real. So to do that, you must visually see it, hear it, feel it to be true. So let's get back to the gateway. So Taoists have been using the 5 senses to access the universe, to connect themselves with the earth, to make themselves in the flow, which is what we talk about all the time. This is the core understanding of Taoism, which is, you have two sides of a coin, yin yang. The goal, the living purpose of any Taoist is to acquire the oneness, the ultimate being, which is basically the dissolving of duality, not being one side or another, not being up or down, in or out, left or right, hot or cold, but oneness. And that's the power that comes with your consciousness, your awareness that everything is interconnected. Everything is as one. You are me, I am you. It's that simple. And so you shift that consciousness through your meditative practices. I would have to say that the things that we teach people go way beyond the simplicity of the word meditation. It's a transformation. It's an experience. I wouldn't associate meditation with the skills that I teach people and how to uncover the true treasures within them. And they're the 3 treasures. 3 treasures, brain, heart, and gut. We call them that because that's in Taoism, they're the 3 energy centers. Energy, information, light. And so this meditation is from an ancient Taoist practice. And we access 2 senses. And it's really quite simple. So as you can see me in the camera, I'm going to get you to take a moment, look into the camera, and then look up. And you're going to look up and find a focal point, whether it's any type of light object, it doesn't really matter. Take a second to look up. Count to 5. Take your eyes from up to across, roll them down, and close your eyes. And you'll notice your demeanor, your physical body sort of relaxing. And then you just take 3 short, sweet breaths in through the nose, and then 3 short, sweet breaths out through the mouth. And bingo. You will instantly have a moment of complete calm and ecstasy relaxation, this is one of these secret sauce Taoist practices that perhaps a lot of the Taoist community will be disappointed that I've shared, but this is very ancient. This is thousands of years old. But what it's for is, ladies and gentlemen, is to take a moment to detach yourself from the noise that you've created. And what happens internally inside you is that you create a frequency and a brainwave that shifts you from high beta all the way down to alpha. And that's where you get that instant calming and that sort of sedative feeling that you're experiencing. Now that is something that you are going to be able to sit on. So what I want you to do, all the people in the audience, everyone that's experiencing this, is to start with that. And if you just start with that without a definition, you could take a timer and you could set it on your phone if you'd like. And using that timer, give yourself 2 minutes, 60 seconds, whatever you feel is comfortable for you. I would offer you something along the 10 to 20 minute ratio. Whatever your time constraint is, more or less, give yourself that and notice that you will go in excess of that time. And as you can feel this sort of sedated relaxation state that you're having right now, even me talking to you, this is your baseline and opening your consciousness, and magical things start taking place, because without even thinking about it, you're shifting your senses. And what's going on is you're shifting your brainwaves, which opens the gateway to change for you. And that's that instant moment, that feeling of being familiar, because it's so relaxing. And that relaxing component is critical to solidifying your knowing that this is really taking place. And so if you give yourself a timer, put 10 minutes, 20 minutes on it, even though maybe someone only has 60 seconds to 2 minutes, it's going to work instantaneously as you experience this, as you followed through and followed my direction, that you will find you will go in excess of the timer that you've put in, because it feels so good. And it's really kind of really crazy how the Taoists have created this, but it's like shuts off the noise. It's really bizarre how that takes place, but you will see it, you will feel it, you will know it instantly. What some people would reference as, the monkey mind, or whatever you want to call it, it's gone. And guess what? You did it.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. She didn't do it. You did it, and you did it instantly. That's how powerful you are. You have it within you. And Jade and I are here just to share the secret sauce to get you started on your journey of creating, of manifesting, of healing, of realizing your ability to do anything. And that's really the goal that we have here at this channel.
And I think with a way, it's the same type of feeling. We love skeptical people, because the formula and the process that we've created, just like you said, I mean, I put my eyes up, I put my eyes down, I took a deep breath, and it was like instant. I wasn't sitting there thinking, do I have my workout clothes on? Am I sitting in front of my my waterfall, what do you call it? Fountain. Right. I don't have the right music on. It's like we instantly tap into your unconscious. We take your mind, your perceptions or your limitations out of the process completely and just drop you in. And you don't have to think about it. You don't have to, go through the list or the check off of, is this right? Is this wrong? Is what's happening? Am I doing it? But it's just No, you're there.
Right.
And you and once you feel that, that solidifies and you know it and you go, ooh,
Right.
okay.
And it feels good to take a break. It feels good to take a break. Even though you're in another trance, another state, you're morphing into these different trances and states all day long. This is a pause from the noise that you've created. There's only, if you define your reality as noise or as too much, it's only because this is how your unconscious has created it for you. And that will change as you acquire a different perception or perspective of your reality. That's how fast that takes place, guys. And as you know, that little buzz that you still have even after doing that is like, holy moly, I did this just by listening to Sifu for 3 seconds, and boom, I'm in this state. And because you get so relaxed, you're going to stay in there longer. The time will go off, and you'll be like, oh, I thought it was only 5 seconds. It's been 20 minutes. Because that is meditation. That is awareness. And you're calibrating yourself instantly. And that's the starting ground level that you need to become all-empowering and creating the magic in your life right here, right now. And so shifting the brainwaves, getting into that state. When we put together the Way 126 experience using all these ancient Taoist tools, it's sort of like a no-brainer. Once you hit play within the app, this is what happens. You are experiencing your life. You are experiencing it as a human being. You're experiencing it using your 5 senses, and you get it when you hit play with the Way 126 experience. Your visual and audible turns into the kinesthetic response. That's what your life is encapsulated in. That's how you experience everything. That's how you determine what is real and what isn't. And so the first base level start line for meditation, which is your gateway to your magic, to your realization, to your manifestation, is only a second away, as you've experienced. And now it's for you to apply that and get started with that magic so that you can create and change your reality any way you want. Because that's my sole purpose. That's Jade's sole purpose, is to create this consciousness, to raise that frequency, energy, vibration in this realm, to create change, healing, happiness, joy, bliss. Having that being the dominant default in the world today, imagine how magical this place will be as it continues to raise higher and higher and higher. I'm lost for words, other than I'm very grateful that you've shared your time with us.
Yeah, no, it's so exciting. It's really so exciting, and I mean, I got chills because it was like, it is. I mean, there's so much negativity. There's so much just fear, anxiety, stress, problems going on right now, that even just the imagination, the visualization, that if all of that was just turned into the opposite, happiness, joy, contentment, excitement, love, I mean, whoa.
Right.
Different place.
And so it's just a moment right now, just an offering, a suggestion for your consciousness where you are right now, my friends. It's really simple. Mm-hmm. Take a moment. When you feel like someone is talking too much, is getting on your last nerve, is creating some type of tension or resistance between you and another person, take a moment and realize this, which is really clear. Don't make it about yourself. We talked about this in great depth the other day. When you make it about you, everything becomes very complex. Mm-hmm. Everything becomes very painful. Everything becomes very resistant. And this is a sign that you are morphing and moving in the wrong direction. That's an intuitive sign when there is so much limitation in your life. And you can use that just as a barometer, just to get yourself an idea of what the truth is. Everything is abundant, timeless, endless, limitless, infinite. And you are the director, the leading star in your movie. You're the script writer. You're the producer. And when you finish, you have the most magical story and the most magical ending, which is your eternal happiness, bliss, joy. And it transcends into this realm, into this reincarnation, and we move into something greater because you're just building a foundation that will serve you within this lifetime and many more to come.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if anything that you thought was a problem disappeared, what you could focus your attention on, your time on, your energy on.
And what do people always talk about? What's that famous expression? First world problems.
Yeah.
First world problems, right? Oh my goodness.
Which is just perspective, like we talk about.
1000%.
And your truth, and that might be important to you. And with this meditation, with the awareness, that shifts, that changes, and you might not even see it change consciously, but you look back 2 weeks and go, wow, that doesn't even bother me anymore. I'm not worried about that. I
Newsflash, people, the fastest way for you to realize you're living the most magical life is when you realize that the day is over and done, and you think you're on Monday, but you're actually on Sunday. Because that is a solidifier and an identifier of your true experience, because you're so lost in the present moment that you're not caught up in what we call first world problems, which is making everything into a grind, compartmentalizing every second of every minute of every hour that makes your life so miserable. You've all been there. When you have a day where you're like, oh my goodness, the next minute is rolling over into the next minute. Have we been sitting here only for an hour? I wish it was over. That hour has turned into a day that seemed forever, never ending. This is an example or an identifier that you are not living the life that you would like to live. When you are immersed in the present moment, everything is dissolved of time and space, and you get lost. That's why children are so magical to observe. They're our teachers in every sense of the word, because they are lost in their moment. You've observed it before, being a parent, an aunt, someone that's seen a child play. They get lost in their imagination. They stay in that alpha theta state of creativity, and then all of a sudden, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They haven't eaten. They're like, Mom, I'm hungry. Because they are living every second of every minute immersed in it without having to be limited by the mundane, compartmentalized, constructed, limited thoughts of, I'm an adult. I can't be silly. I'm an adult. I can't be happy. I'm an adult. I have responsibilities. This is a framework that has been created and you have adopted and accepted in your reality. And that's okay. You're here, right now, to change that. If you're listening to this material, this is for you to change the state you're in instantly, because you can do anything if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, I think it's like that expression, like, oh, I'm having such a bad day, I just can't wait for it to end.
Right.
But it's like the opposite. Oh my God, I'm having such a good day. I wish this would last forever.
Right.
Or I wish, like if somebody gets married, when someone gets married, most of the time it's their happiest day of their life or whatever. And they're like, it went by so fast. I blinked my eye and, the 12 hours was gone. And I wish I could replay it again. I wish I could do it again, and when you are so present and you're just lost in it, you're void of time and space.
And that's the magic. That's the magical place where people look at gurus, whoever it might be, note in point, Sadhguru, Dalai Lama, someone of high consciousness, awareness of really what's going on right now. And, you can see how much, Sadhguru is completely within his own space and truly immersed in it. I understand because I'm there all day long. Mm-hmm. My life is one big vacation. When someone asks me, how do I feel? I always respond with, it's good to be me. And that's the magic of your ability as an individual creating your own reality. You have the choice. You have the ability. And now we're going to give you the tools so that you can make that choice consciously, shifting unconscious to conscious process. So you're the master, keeper, creator of your reality instantly. And that, my friends, is the most powerful gift that you could have as a human being, and a human being, or more alternatively, an eternal being having a human being experience. That's for a whole nother day, whole nother page, but let's just reference that as a magical starting point for what's to come within the Consciousness of the Way podcast.
Yeah, it is. It's empowering. It's empowering because that state is accessible to anyone.
Yeah.
And given the right tools, and like you mentioned before, once you get these tools, they stay with you. I kind of think of it like riding a bike. Mm-hmm. Most people learn how to ride a bike, and even if they haven't ridden a bike in 30 years, they still remember. They know what it feels like. They could get on a bike and ride it.
Yeah. Same
thing. This stays with you. It sticks with you. You have it. You own that skill. You've learned it, and it's yours forever.
Forever. And of course, that's the awareness that comes with any sort of event or some type of programming that you've created within your own unconscious. You can own that forever too. Bad habits, bad thoughts, memories, energy, frequency, vibration, they're encapsulated. So once you acquire that baseline skill that we're going to show you, then you move on to the magic, because now you've mastered your emotions. Now it's time to start shifting all the other things that you might find limits to your experience. Let's unlock those doors and have you realized that they're just the beginning, they're not the end.
Mm-mm. And you don't have to be limited by them.
No, not even close. So, I want to thank you, Jade, for another amazing podcast and us entering into the consciousness of the way, having a basic understanding, a fundamental baseline for the gateway to your consciousness meditation. And so, with that, I would like to thank you for your time and sharing it with us. My name is Taoist Master San Quinn, your humble servant and Sifu, and this is my co-host, High Priestess Jade, and this is the Consciousness of the Way 126 Experience podcast.
And like and subscribe, comment below more topics you want to hear about, more tips you want. I mean, I thought that was so powerful for anyone, just easy, quick, and simple that they could do instantly wherever they are, to shift, begin your shifting, begin your changing, create that awareness. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. And thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next one.